Hello everyone and welcome to a new vlog. I've just finished packing the car because Mum and I are actually off on an adventure today. We're heading to Cumbria where we're going to stay in a lovely farmhouse for this week. It's actually my birthday today, so we're setting off as a little birthday celebration and I can't wait. I've always wanted to stay in Cumbria. I'd love to explore a little bit more of the Lake District. Saying that, I don't know what the weather's going to be like when we're there. I think rain is definitely on the agenda. So we've chosen a lovely farmhouse to stay in. They're meant to have a fire, so I think we're also going to enjoy just taking things a bit easy this week as well, getting cozy. I'm going to bring plenty of books with me. I would like to get to Beatrix Potter's house and I'll take you along with me and do a few things in the area. But if the weather really isn't very good, then we can also just enjoy being cozy in the farmhouse and just having fun, having a little holiday away. So I'm really excited about it. And of course I'm planning what books to bring with me. Like I said, the car's packed and pretty much all ready. But I thought I would just hop on and show you what books I'll bring with me. I can't possibly read all of these in the sort of 4 days that we're away, but I will probably still bring quite a few of these with me just to see how the mood takes me. So one book that I'm going to bring is All Before Me by Esther Rutter. It says, A Search for Belonging in Wordsworth's Lake District. I would like to possibly get back to Dove Cottage, which is where Dorothy and William Wordsworth lived. We've visited it before and it's very charming, so I'd like to maybe try and get back there. But I would definitely like to read this memoir by Esther Rutter about her time spent working at Dove Cottage, and I think this sounds like such a good read and obviously great for the area, so I'd like to bring this one for sure. And then another book that's set in the Lake District is The Shepherd's Life by James Rebanks. And I really like James Rebanks' writing. This is his most famous book, all about his life as a farmer on the in the Lake District. I also like his wife Helen Rebanks' writing, all about her life as a farmer's wife. And so I'm going to bring this with me. I actually have just started this book, which is the latest one by James Rebanks, The Place of Tides. And this is a fascinating read all about a few weeks he spent one springtime in these very sort of remote islands off of Norway in the company of a much older woman who is what is known as a duck woman because she takes care of the nesting eider ducks and then collects the very precious eider down, the feathers from them once they leave the nests. And it's just a fascinating account of how James helped her to care for the ducks, to build nests for them, why this is important, and how this is now a sort of dying art, a dying skill in Norway. So I'm about halfway through this. I just started it, but I read quite a lot of it the other day, so I might bring this with me still because I've started it and I'm enjoying it, even though it's not Lake District or Cumbria appropriate, but I might still bring it. And then this British Library women writers book, Forest Silver, is apparently set in the Lake District, I think during the Second World War. So I'm tempted to bring this too, as you know, I always like the books by the British Library women writers and it sounds good. Of course, I have to bring Swallows and Amazons, a favourite from my childhood. This is what made me want to go to the Lake District in the first place, reading Swallows and Amazons, and of course being a big fan of Beatrix Potter. So I do have this edition of Mrs. Tickywinkle here, which I might bring with me too, just as a sentimental little read. So those are the children's books I'm bringing. So I definitely won't be short of reading material, will I? And I have to say, I'm kind of hoping that we'll get just some quiet days or some quiet time by the fireside, just being able to enjoy being cozy and having a bit of a break as well, because I'm hoping that's what this holiday for my birthday will be too, is a bit of a genuine sort of break. So I'm looking forward to that. And then my mum surprised me with a birthday present this morning. She'd already given me most of my birthday presents, but she had this one as a little surprise, and that is Be Ready When the Luck Happens, Ina Garten's new memoir, and I've been so excited to read this. I'm a huge fan of Ina Garten. I think she's amazing. I love her cooking show. I love her cookbooks. I just love her. So I've been dying to read this. It just came out at the start of October. So I'm so thrilled that my mum got this for me. And I think I might bring this too, just in case I fancy kind of dipping into it. So yeah, weighing myself down with books, but fortunately we're taking the car so I can. But we really had better get off and get going, and I'll bring you along with us. Just before we head off to Cumbria, I wanted to tell you about my offer code with serious readers. As you know, I'm a huge fan of serious readers. I use my high definition floor light all the time. I've spoken many times about how much I love their lights, so I'm really thrilled that serious readers are very kindly sponsoring today's video. So the offer code that I have with serious readers is Miranda, all capital letters, Miranda24. And if you use that offer code, you get £100 off any of the high definition lights, as well as free shipping within the UK. Now that we're well into cozy season, I like nothing better than curling up with a good book in the evenings. And as the nights are getting so much longer, and as I love to read in bed before going to sleep, and I spend a lot of time each evening reading a book, it's even more important to me to avoid eye strain and to have a really good reading light. I have terrible eyesight as it is. I don't want it getting any worse, so I really do love being able to use my serious light. And I have to say that this light has made such a difference to my reading life. I just love using it, and it makes it so much easier to read even my vintage books or even new books like this one, but that have very small print. So one of the reasons I love my serious light is because of the amazing quality of the light. Serious lights feature something called daylight wavelength technology, and this essentially replicates the daylight spectrum as closely as technically possible. So reading with my light feels like reading in a pool of natural light, or at least as close to natural light as you can get. I love the fact that I can also adjust the brightness levels of the light as well as the width of the beam of the light. And another feature that I really love about my serious light is that you can choose a cordless version. And that's the version that I went for. Because of where I live in a really old house, we don't have very many sockets where I can plug in lights, and there aren't any overhead lights in the living room or in my bedroom, for instance. And those are the two places that I read the most. So I love having my cordless light because that means I can just pick up this light and carry it to wherever I need it, whether I'm reading upstairs in my bedroom or down here in the living room. So that's another reason that this light works so well for me and has made such a difference to my reading life. If you're also on the lookout for a wonderful reading light, then do take advantage of my offer code. Again, that's Miranda, all capital letters, Miranda24. And that gets you £100 off any of the high definition lights by serious readers, as well as free shipping within the UK. I'll put all of the details, including my offer code, in the video description box down below. So make sure you check out all of the information there as well as the relevant link. But now let's get back to my video. And here we've arrived at this beautiful farmhouse right by a lovely river that we're going to be staying in whilst we're in Cumbria. Hello everyone, so we've arrived in Cumbria, staying at this lovely farmhouse. We're so thrilled to be here. By the time I unloaded the car and all of that, it was getting dark, and then we had to go and get some groceries. So I'm going to film a proper little tour for you tomorrow. But this evening, I'm just having a lovely birthday evening. We've got some bubbles. And on the way here, Mum took me out for lunch at Betty's, at the Harlow Car Betty's branch, which I really love because Harlow Car is such a beautiful garden. And I love the Betty's there. We had lunch, and then we picked up my favourite fondant fancies to have as a little birthday cake this evening. So we're going to enjoy our bubbles and our cake now and just sit in front of the fire and relax. I've got the fire going, so it's lovely and cosy. And Mum's over here with her bubbles.
Happy birthday, Miranda.
Thank you. And yes, I'm going to get my glass now and
Super.
get our cakes and enjoy the rest of the evening. Hello everyone, so we're out and about this morning. I had been just about to start filming a little tour of where we're staying for you, but a gardener turned up and started strimming, and it was very noisy. So I'll film that later today. We decided to just come out, and we've come to Sedba, which is apparently a book town.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be anything like Hay on Wye. There are just a
No,
few
but it'll be
bookshops,
fun. I think there's 2 or 3 bookshops we'd like to look in. So
and it looks like a sweet little town. I think we're actually back in the Yorkshire Dales now. That we're staying sort of right on the edge. So we go into Cumbria and into Yorkshire quite a bit, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But it's really nice to be able to explore this part of Yorkshire and Cumbria that's definitely a lot further away from where we are. So it's really lovely. And I mean, bookshops always draw us. They're meant to be a good sort of second-hand bookshops, I think.
I'm excited
especially.
about that.
So,
Yes,
we were both excited about that. So let's go exploring. So we're just back at the farmhouse now. We had a really nice time in Sedba. There weren't a huge number of bookshops, but there were 4, and we really enjoyed having a browse. We did find a few books, and I'll show you which ones that we got in a moment. I've just set the fire so we can have a nice cozy evening, having a look at our new books and also reading some of the ones that we brought with us, so I'm really looking forward to that. But let me give you a little tour of the place that we're staying in while I still have a little bit of light. So here's Mum getting cozy by the fire.
Hello. It certainly is. You've done a really
lovely,
nice one.
isn't it?
It is lovely.
Yes.
Yes, I love to have the chair right by it too.
And some people might spot that I brought one of my anthropology candles with us, which I should light as well, actually.
Yes, that would be lovely.
Yes. So in here is the living room, which is very nice and cozy. I like the big windows, and this little corner by the fire is especially lovely.
It really is.
And then over here there's another sort of little lounge area with a television and a little electric fire. Here's the view outside. Just on the other side of those trees is the river, sort of that way. And it's really nice to have a walk along the river. And then back through here, we've got those French doors lead to outside. This is a staircase that goes down to the sort of main front door, and there's an area downstairs that I'll show you later. And then through here, we've got the kitchen, which is very nice. Nice standard kitchen. And then what's great is that Mum can kind of stay on this nice flat level because she's got her bedroom down here. So she's staying in this room, which is really nice. She's got some of my stuff down here too because it's a bigger room, all my plugs and things and some of my books. And another very nice view out of this window. And yes, it's just a nice cozy bedroom. This quilt is actually ours. We brought it from home. People always ask me where my quilts are from, and this one is from Forever England. I'll link it in the description box because it's such a good price for a lovely quilt. And I have two of them, this pink one and then a kind of greeny blue one that I'll show you because I brought that one for my bed. We have learnt when staying in places in the English countryside, it's generally a good idea to bring extra bedding, especially if you're travelling in the autumn and winter, because it can get cold in the countryside. Saying that, I have to say the heating here is wonderful and it is really nice and warm, but we still have been thankful to have some extra bedding with us. So just bringing a quilt is a nice thing to do, especially when we have the car so we could load it up. So that was really handy. And then just through here is, well, the way back to the kitchen, but there's a little bathroom here, which is great. So this is really nice for Mum as she can just stay on this level for most of the time. So that's really handy. It's nice for you, isn't it?
It's really nice. It's very handy. It's very easy for me. And I love all the different materials. She's
of the curtains. Yes, I know.
The
it
curtains,
is lovely.
I love the lush lampshades.
Yes, they're pretty.
They are, aren't they? And
nice little details.
She's got little details everywhere. The colours are really nice and everything. It's really... The only thing we forgot actually was a hairdryer.
Yes, annoyingly.
Yeah. We have towels. So
yes, that's good. Yes. Yes, here they provide bed linen, but no towels. So we brought our own towels and tea towels. Now, up here is the staircase up to my bedroom and some other bedrooms. So I'll head up. Okay, so we're going into my bedroom, which is also very nice. It has a double bed. This is the other quilt that I was telling you about. And you can see it's reversible. So you can also have this pattern, which I think is really nice too. They're such nice quilts. I get a lot of table linen from Forever England too. And it's always really good prices. So I recommend the website. But anyway, here's my bedroom, more pretty curtains. And then through here, there's a little shower room, just in here. And then there's another bedroom through here, which we're not using, but it's got 2 single beds just in here. So you could actually have quite a few people staying here. I'll bring you back downstairs now to the very bottom level because there's another bedroom down there, so I'll just show you that quickly. Okay, here we are downstairs, and through here is the other bedroom. So there's another bathroom here, and then another bedroom just through here, which also has twin beds in it. And it's a nice big room actually. So yes, there we are. Okay, so I've done a little tour of Linfield Farmhouse, and I hope you enjoyed having a bit of a feel for where we're staying. I booked this quite a while ago. The only thing about the property is because it's so near the river, it's liable to flood. So when I booked, the owner said, oh, if there are flood warnings, then, you know, we'd refund you, but you wouldn't be able to come if it looked like the river was flooding, you know, for obvious reasons, we wouldn't be able to stay. So that can be a bit tricky about staying here this time of year. But fortunately, fingers crossed, it's been fine so far. So that's good. And yeah, we're just really enjoying our stay. But let me tell you about the books that we found today. Okay, I'm nice and cozy by the fire and thought I'd just share my mini book haul. So I found this, which I thought looked quite fun, Tales in School by Jacinth Hope Simpson. And it's an anthology of boarding school life. So there are different little essays and stories by different writers, from Anthony Buckeridge to Charles Dickens to Eleanor and Brent Dyer, Mrs. Molesworth, Angela Thirkell, Susan Coolidge. Just lots of interesting writers brought together for this. So I thought it sounded like a nice anthology, so I picked that up. And then what else have I got? A couple Ladybird books that I couldn't resist. This a second book of British birds, which just has such a pretty cover. I always love the beautiful illustrations in Ladybird books too, and these old ones, they're just so gorgeous. So I got that, and then they had a third book of British birds and their nests. So I was also really happy to get this one. So I was thrilled with those. And then I thought this sounded really fun. Inside Work by Joan Butler. And I've heard of Joan Butler's writing. This was actually a pseudonym for a male Irish writer. And he wrote stories that I think somewhat echoed P.G. Wodehouse in style, and he wrote under the name Joan Butler. I haven't read any of these. I don't really know what they're like. If you've read any, then let me know. But I just saw it and it intrigued me, and this one is set at Christmas time. I think about a bit of a somewhat fraught family gathering at Christmas time with some comedy definitely in the mix by the sound of it. So I thought it might make a fun Christmas read. So I thought I would just give it a go, but I don't really know what to expect from it. But we'll see, and I was just intrigued by the cover, so I thought it was worth having a try. And then I also got this really lovely copy of Moonfleet. If I remember correctly, this book actually starts in October, and it's a wonderful adventure story. I remember absolutely loving this when I was young, and I'd like to return to it again. And I just really liked this old copy. I think it's from the 50s, this copy, and it has some nice colour illustrations inside that look very atmospheric. So I was thrilled with this, and I think it was just £4 or something. So I thought that was a real bargain, and yeah, really lovely addition. And then this last one, Mum spotted very cleverly, and that's The Midnight Adventures of Kelly, Dot and Esmeralda by John S. Goodall. This is one of his little books that's only illustrations, there's no words, but they're always so charmingly done. John S. Goodall illustrated many of the Miss Read books, so I absolutely love his illustrations. And these stories told only through pictures are so adorable. He did ones about Edwardian life and Victorian life and that kind of thing as well, which are lovely, and I have quite a few of those. But these ones, more for children, are also very, very sweet. So really thrilled to have got this. So yes, that was our little pile from the day. We went and had a sort of very late lunch at the Black Bull, which was a nice pub/restaurant in Sedba, and I really would recommend going there. We just had a simple lunch. It was like soup and a sandwich, but for a sort of basic lunch like that, it was nice. And yes, it was just a really lovely afternoon out. It's been pretty grey all day, and it was pouring with rain earlier, but it just felt like a lovely cosy way to spend the day, and it was still quite relaxing. We didn't try and do too much, but just going, having a look around the bookshops, having lunch, and now coming back and getting to enjoy our lovely fire and a really cosy evening is just what I fancy. So tomorrow I'm hoping we'll head to Beatrix Potter's cottage. The weather's supposed to be better tomorrow, so I'm really hoping it will be nice, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day in Cumbria today. I'll see if I can just swizzle the camera around so you can get the view out the window. Look at that lovely sunshine. So it's the perfect day to go to Beatrix Potter's cottage. I'm so excited to get there again. I've got the tale of Mrs. Tiggy Winkle to bring with me in honour of the occasion. And I wanted to chat a bit about what I've been reading since we've been here. It was so nice yesterday to just spend a really cosy evening in front of the fire. Mum and I both read our books. Well, Mum read her Kindle and I read my books, and it was just such a nice evening. So I have very, very nearly finished The Place of Tides. I only have a few pages left of the end. So I've been really enjoying it. It's such a good book, and even though it wasn't sort of Lake District appropriate, I had started it before we left to come here, and I just did want to finish it. So I will finish this today, and it's just a really fascinating read. I'll do a proper sort of review of it once we're home and I've absolutely finished it, but it was just so nice to be reading this one. And then I did start Forest Silver by E.M. Ward, which is a really, really good read for anyone who goes on holiday in the Lake District, because it really evokes the setting so well. I've only just started it, so I'm not quite sure where the story's going to go. I'm intrigued. It begins with a man who's been invalided out of the war. It's set during World War II, and he was a pilot who was wounded in action, and then the book begins with him having just ended an engagement and gone off to the Lake District to sort of escape everything. So I am enjoying it. I'm looking forward to continuing to read this one, and it's a great book for the setting. So that's what I've been reading since we've been here, but we're going to head off now. I think we're about an hour's drive from Hilltop Farm. So halfway there, I've booked us lunch at a place called the Punch Bowl Inn, which is meant to be a nice sort of pub, and they've got a set menu for lunch that sounds really nice. So we're going to stop off for an early lunch, and then we'll continue on to Hilltop Farm. And I think it should just be a really lovely afternoon. So let's head off. Actually, just before heading off, I said that Mum should tell you a bit about what she's been reading.
Yes, because I had one of those where I read the whole book yesterday evening, and this morning I woke up early and finished it. So it was fabulous. It's called Homecoming by Connie Willis. I got it on my Kindle, and it's another one of these time travel ones that I was really surprised how much I'm loving them. But I really am.
Yes, because you reread one of hers.
Yes.
Don't forget the dog or something like that. To say nothing of the dog.
Yeah.
And you really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, so and that's much more of a comfort read, actually. I find that interesting. It's a cosy comfort read. This one wasn't, but it was absolutely fascinating. Someone got accidentally sent back, a young woman, to the years during the Black Plague in England. And it was really what happened, how people died like fly. I mean, it was awful. And but it gets you emotionally involved. Will she make it back? It was a mistake that she got sent there. All the things that sort of made a page turner, but it was so actually emotional to read too. I really felt she grabs you by the throat and gives you a real feel of what it would have been like to live in that time, and it was wonderful.
It definitely kept you engrossed.
Yes, it did indeed. So of course I've now started a third one, but I can't. I think it's called Blackout, this one. So anyway, I'm going to keep going.
Set during the war.
It is, because it already, I can tell it's going to be like set during World War II. So it'll be kind of interesting. We'll both be reading.
Yeah, because this is set during World War II. So
yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, that's what we've been reading. But are you ready for... heading off to lunch?
Yes, and the views are always so lovely, and we always enjoy the drive. It's really this scenery is amazing.
It is. It's been really beautiful, even in not such great weather. It's been
absolutely
so atmospheric. But today it's actually a beautiful day, so that's wonderful. Here we are at the Punch Bowl Inn. Look at the beautiful view. So we've just arrived at Beatrix Potter's house after a fabulous lunch.
It was amazing. It really was.
So recommend the Punch Bowl Inn if you're in the area. Their set lunch menu is so reasonable and so delicious.
It was amazing, and it was a lovely little inn too. You could tell it would be beautiful.
And the most idyllic setting. I mean, gorgeous views all around, right next to this lovely old church. I mean, it was really special, wasn't it?
Absolutely adorable. And we really, I mean, you had researched it, of course, but we really weren't expecting it to be that stunning.
No, I know.
We were very lucky with the day. Sunshine, clear skies.
Yes, really, really lucky. But anyway, we're going to head into Beatrix Potter's house now. We're just back in Kirby Lonsdale after visiting Beatrix Potter's house, which was so beautiful. And just before we go back to the farmhouse we're staying in, I wanted to come to the church in Kirby Lonsdale, which is so beautiful. It's a really lovely church, but there's quite a lot of work going on around it at the moment, so I couldn't really kind of film or take photos. But then I've come to what they call Ruskin's View, and I'll show it to you because it's just the most beautiful view of the landscape and the river right around Kirby Lonsdale. So have a look at this. Just so beautiful, and look at all the wonderful colours of autumn you can see in the landscape. So we're back in our little home away from home again after a really fabulous day. I had such a wonderful time. Mum and I were both saying what a wonderful day we had. The lunch was amazing. Going to Beatrix Potter's house was fabulous as always. I mean, we've been a couple of times before, but it's always magical whenever we go back. So I've lit the fire so we can have another lovely cozy evening. Just made a cup of tea, but I thought actually I would just tell you about what we picked up at the gift shop at Beatrix Potter, because they had some lovely things. I'm a huge fan of the artist Claire Fletcher. She's done some wonderful cards that I've highlighted on my channel before. I really love her artwork, and she's done a few specific illustrations for the Beatrix Potter gift shop, and they feature the house, and they're just really charming. So I picked up some of her cards, but I also got a few other things. I got the Fairy Caravan by Beatrix Potter, which wasn't one that I had. I used to have it, but I haven't had it for ages, so I was really pleased to get a new copy of this book. And I got a notebook which features a wonderful illustration by Claire Fletcher. It's just a lined notebook, but I think that's beautiful, of Hilltop. I think that's just really charming, so I was thrilled to get that. I also got a mug that features the Claire Fletcher illustration of Hilltop Farm, which I thought was adorable too. And then, like I said, I got a selection of cards. So I'll show you these ones. I'll just put those down there. I really do love Claire Fletcher's artwork, so I got quite a few of hers. Got this really sweet caravan one. This is one of her Hilltop House illustrations, and this is it in the winter time, which I think will be so lovely for Christmas. I thought this sweet little dormouse was just adorable. And then this is the other Hilltop House illustration that she did, and another winter scene of Hilltop. And then I liked Mr. Badger sweeping his doorstep. And I got this little rabbit in a sleigh with Christmas presents. Again, this will be lovely as a Christmas card. And then I got a second one of this Hilltop House scene. I'm going to give this one to our neighbour, who's been kindly watching out for any parcels that arrived while we were away. And then I also love the artist Amanda White. She does lots of really beautiful illustrations featuring the homes of writers and artists, and she did a few of Beatrix Potter's house, so this is one of them. And then there's a wintry scene, which I thought was really lovely. Another one here. So then this one was an artist I hadn't heard of before, Jessica Halmshaw, but I thought that was also a lovely one of Hilltop featuring Beatrix Potter too. So I picked that one up as well. So yes, I mean, I love getting nice cards when we go places, so couldn't resist those. And it was just a really lovely day, a real highlight of this week. But we're going to enjoy another cozy evening now, and to get our books out and just relax, which will be so nice. And we'll be leaving tomorrow morning, so we'll be packing up pretty early and getting going. So I'll catch up with you again once we're back home in Yorkshire. Hello everyone, so we're back home in Yorkshire now. Had a really nice journey home. The weather was beautiful, and actually we've been pretty lucky with the weather altogether this week, which has been wonderful. It's now Sunday afternoon. I was just quiet on Saturday getting unpacked and all of that kind of thing, and this afternoon we're having our neighbours coming around a little bit later to help us with planting bulbs, which I'm really looking forward to. I've got sort of some stacks of them here. I've got some crocus bulbs and also some narcissi bulbs, and I've been wanting to get them planted. So today is the day, and we thought we'd make it fun. So I'm also going to bake something for us to enjoy after we've done our planting. I'm trying out a new recipe. I saw a recipe for a pear and almond tray bake on the Happy Foodie. I'll link to it down below, and this recipe really appealed to me because it sounds like you can just do it with one bowl and a wooden spoon, which is definitely the type of recipe that I like, and it just sounds like a lovely, easy autumnal bake. So I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully it will go well. I've set up my ingredients, and I thought I'd just walk you through what I do to bake it. It's my first time doing it, but hopefully it will all come together well. I've got all of my ingredients set up. I've got sugar, ground almonds, self-raising flour. They said a yogurt of your choice. I had creme fraiche, so that's just what I'm going to use. And then a tin of pear halves, which I've drained and sliced. Over here I've got my eggs, and then this recipe calls for light olive oil. I've got that ready. I've got some almond essence here. There we are, and then some flaked almonds and a bit of brown sugar to go on top, and my tin is ready over there. So I've got all of my ingredients ready. Let's get baking. Okay, I've got my laptop here just because I'm looking at the recipe online for this one. So like I said, I'll link to it too if any of you fancy doing it, because hopefully it'll be really nice. So I think I'm starting with just the dry ingredients. So I'm adding the flour, and then the ground almonds and the caster sugar to my bowl, and I just stir to combine. I'm using one of the lovely wooden spoons that Mum got when we went to the pottery fair, Derbyshire. It's nice to be using a beautiful wooden spoon. I do love recipes that just take a bowl and a spoon, so this is definitely the type that I like. So I hope this will be a good one, because I do like having easy bakes up my sleeve. So I've just stirred all of these ingredients together, and then next I'm going to add the olive oil and the eggs and stir again. So I'll pop the olive oil in. I like cakes actually that take olive oil. I know it seems a bit more of an unusual ingredient, but I often like cakes that do that take olive oil. Nigella does a lovely chocolate cake with olive oil, and that's always a favourite of mine. I've made that cake so many times, and you just get the light sort of olive oil, so it's not too strong a flavour. Okay, so I've popped the eggs in as well, and I'll just give these a stir. Okay, so everything's combined, and now I'm going to add the yogurt and also just a little bit of almond extract. So I'll pop that in. I love the flavour combination of pear and almond together. That's just one of my favourite things. So just popping a little bit in. a nice smooth batter. Okay, so I've finished mixing, got nice smooth batter, and I'm just going to pour it into my ready greased and lined tin. So in we go. Okay, so I've got the mixture in the tin and I'm just going to level it out. Okay, so I've evened out the batter. I'm actually using a 9x9 tin because that's what I had. The recipe calls for an 8x10. But I'm hoping this will be alright. So then I just am going to place the sliced pear halves on top, evenly dispersing them. Okay, so I've got my pear slices spread out over the top. And now I just finish with the scattering of almonds and the sugar. I think that's it. Yep, so I'm just going to sprinkle the flaked almonds over. Sugar. This does look nice. I think we'll deserve a little treat after our bulb planting later. I did order quite a lot of crocus and daffodil bulbs. This is my first time doing bulbs in the autumn, so I'll be very excited in the spring, and I really hope they all survive. There are so many rabbits and squirrels around us that, you know, their chance of survival maybe isn't as great as I wish it were, but we're going to try to do what we can to protect them from all of the cheeky squirrels. So we'll just have to see in the springtime, but it's nice to give it a go anyway and see what happens. So I'm really looking forward to it, and it's nice of my neighbours to want to come around and give a hand with the planting. So I'm just looking forward to this afternoon. It's a lovely autumnal sort of afternoon activity, isn't it? Baking and then having a little bulb planting party. I think that's such a nice idea. So there we are. This is ready. I've topped it with the flaked almonds and the brown sugar, and I'm going to pop it in the oven. And here it is out of the oven. I can't wait to try it. I think you let it cool in the tin, so I'm just putting it on the rack and let it cool. Here are all of my bulbs that I've got ready for our bulb planting party today. So here we are, we've got our bulb planting station set up over here. So I'm just putting in some of the narcissi. Here the narcissus bulbs are in the pots.
Those crocus are looking good.
Yes, into these is the top layer now, and hoping they all come up well. I'm looking forward to our bulb planting tea as well.
I bet you are, but you're ready for that, getting a bit cold.
I know, that'll be lovely. Hello everyone, so it's the next day now, it's Monday, and I'm just taking a break from work to enjoy a cup of tea and a slice of leftover pear and almond cake, which I have to say was a really big success. I really love this recipe, definitely recommend making it. You saw how easy it was to pull together just with a bowl and spoon, exactly the kind of recipe I like, and it tastes so good. It went down really well yesterday with our neighbours who came round to help with the bulb planting and also to just enjoy some nice food with us. I also made some little fig and blue cheese sort of phyllo pastry parcels, which is a Mary Berry recipe. I'll link to it because that's a favourite of mine as well. And those went down a treat too. So yes, it was a really nice afternoon, crossing fingers that those bulbs stay in place. We've definitely done all that we can to keep them safe. We put some wire over top and also some holly leaves, which was a really good tip from someone in my Seasons of Story community. Thank you, Sophie, for that tip. So hopefully it will work and I'll have some lovely flowers coming up in the springtime. But yes, we'll have to wait till then. So anyway, it's been a nice weekend, but I wanted to wrap up this vlog now and just fill you in on my reading. So I did finish The Place of Tides by James Rebanks while we were away in Cumbria, and I absolutely loved it. Such a good, thought-provoking book. I so recommend it. I think this is definitely going to be another of my favourite books from the year. I keep thinking about it since having finished it, and it was just a simple story but so well told. James Rebanks really went to this remote island off Norway, hoping for answers as he was going through a difficult period in his life. But the answers he got weren't what he expected at all in many ways. I think he thought that Anna, the woman that he helped with the ducks and all of that, was someone who had sort of perfected the art of living alone and just being entirely in tune with nature, but also very solitary. And what he realised was that was in fact not the case. And it was just a really beautiful read. I do very much recommend it. So I really enjoyed that. And then I'm enjoying Forest Silver by E.M. Ward, which I'm keeping reading. So yes, I'm looking forward to hopefully having some cozy evenings this week and enjoying my books. But thank you so much to everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Extra big thanks as always to those of you who pressed my super thanks button last week. I so appreciate your support. But thank you to everyone who subscribes to my channel, likes the video, puts a comment on. And of course, to all of you who subscribe to Seasons of Story, I so appreciate all of your support. And I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.